Anthony Edwards matched up against SGA. Edwards even got annoyed at SGA's foul-baiting strategy. SGA keeps driving the ball and it's only game 1, but the matchup is already heating up. You shouldn't miss the showdown between SGA and Edwards. So it's game 1 of the West Finals between the Wolves and OKC. What a great matchup, guys. Both lineups are still healthy. In the first quarter, the visiting team started off hot. An 8-0 start, with the first 5 points for the Wolves coming from Jaden McDaniels, and Edwards quickly got his first three-pointer of the game. But the problem for the Wolves was that less than 2 minutes into the game, Rudy Gobert already picked up 2 fouls. That's why he was immediately replaced by Naz Reid. Anthony Edwards had a turnover, but he made a great recovery on this play. J-Dub's layup was blocked. At the same time, Ant-Man started trash-talking. Well, SGA wasn't even halfway through the first quarter yet, and he already had 7 free throws and 10 points. Edwards ended up frustrated with how SGA kept drawing fouls. The ball kept going to him. This resulted in a technical, allowing OKC to cut the Wolves' lead down to 2 points, 13-11, but Randle answered with back-to-back three-pointers. The home team managed to take a slight lead with under 5 minutes left after Miner scored a total of 9 points in the first quarter for SGA. Fresh off the Wolves bench, Dante DiVincenzo immediately made an impact at the 3-minute mark. The cousins SGA and Nickeil Alexander-Walker faced off against each other. Guys, that's the first time in NBA history, bro, that these two have faced each other in the conference finals. Well, in the last 19 seconds, Anthony Edwards' right ankle got into a bit of trouble, but Ant-Man just shook it off. Edwards scored 7 points in the first quarter and Minnesota was up by 3 points, 23-20. In the second quarter, Hartenstein started OKC's offense with back-to-back baskets inside the paint, but Julius Randle was still hot from beyond the arc. He answered the home team's run with back-to-back shots of his own. Randle was even smiling while cooking OKC's defense because of how well he was playing. That's why, bro, the home team's momentum kept getting cut off. So far, Randle already has 18 points, 12 points in the first 7 minutes of the second quarter. Randle made 3 three-pointers during that stretch, bro. That's a total of 5 threes in the first half. Randle only had 2 minutes of rest in the second quarter. He was brought back in with under 3 minutes left. Minnesota still holds the lead, and Edwards is already in double digits with 13 points here in the last 2 minutes. SGA is incredible at drawing fouls in this play. Guys, you can really feel even the slightest bump against the defender. SGA shooting is cold, just 2 of 12 from the field. And he got blocked hard by Jaden McDaniels on this play. Less than a minute left, guys, and Edwards was called for a foul while guarding SGA. Ant-Man couldn't believe that call, so on the next play, he had something bad in mind for the opponent. Luther almost got posterized if he hadn't gotten caught up. That OKC player was about to be in big trouble. Well, the Wolves still held the lead. It reached 9 points, but the Thunder cut it down to 4. 48-44 at halftime. 48-44 at halftime. Third quarter, great start for the home team, guys. They managed to get back in the game after a 10-4 run. Finally, SGA scores a basket. That's only SGA's third basket. They briefly took the lead again before the Wolves answered with back-to-back threes from Edwards and Mike Conley. But you can't count them out, and the visiting team's offense is starting to show. Guys, Jetta is now the third Thunder player with double-digit scoring. Here, SGA just ate up the defense of his cousin Alexander-Walker, with under 5 minutes left, 62-60. The two all-stars of the home team are now carrying OKC's offense, and SGA's eyes are getting even fiercer, facing off against his own cousin. The Thunder's lead keeps growing, and Kenrich Williams, a surprise spark off the bench, scored 5 straight points in the last 2 minutes. The Wolves are now trailing by double digits. Again, SGA with a step-back jumper. Leave your cousin. SGA has 23 points. They still hold a double-digit lead heading into the fourth quarter, 76-66. While in the fourth quarter, the home team's momentum just kept going, bro. Big man Chet Holmgren even took over, scoring 9 points in the first 4 minutes. In the final quarter, Edwards also got a taste of lockdown defense from the opponent. He couldn't get past Alex Caruso's defense with under 7 minutes left. OKC's lead is now up to 13 points plus an and 1 basket for SGA. SGA was just too unstoppable, bro, and it was an even bigger loss for the Wolves because Jaden McDaniels fouled out while trying to defend SGA. Because of that, OKC gradually took control of the game until Minnesota could no longer come back, giving the game 1 win to the OKC Thunder, with a 30-point game for SGA. It was like MJ versus Kobe Bryant, folks, in Game 2. Chet Holmgren showed swagger and hype with everything he did. So before Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals started, Adam Silver himself presented the NBA MVP trophy to SGA. In the first quarter, even Scott Foster, the head referee, wasn't spared. It was Lou Dort who swiped as the veteran official, folks. His nose bled and the game was slightly delayed. SGA immediately showcased his arsenal in the first quarter with his deadly mid-range jump shots. It was superstar versus superstar as Anthony Edwards also delivered late in the first quarter. Ant-Man was extremely aggressive, attacking the paint, even making those tough shots. Ant-Man often posted up, scoring 8 points in the first quarter. Chet Holmgren also had 8 points while SGA had 9 points. OKC Thunder led by 4, 29-25. In the second quarter, finally, there was bench production from the Minnesota Timberwolves. Naz Reid delivered. This was missing in Game 1, folks, for the Timberwolves, where their second unit only tallied 26 total points. OKC Thunder made slight adjustments with their small ball lineup, and Alex Caruso stepped up on both ends of the floor. He's a low-key shooter for OKC, folks. This postseason, Alex is averaging 45% from beyond the arc. That's really high. The lead kept changing. Anthony Edwards hit a corner triple and an and-one basket against SGA. The game was still close. It was like QB versus MJ out there. SGA continued to dominate in the mid-range, while Anthony Edwards was making full use of his strength, folks, as he attacked the basket. As the first half was ending, SGA hit his first three-pointer. The crowd got hyped going into halftime, with the Thunder leading 58-50, led by none other than the MVP himself, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, with 19 first-half points. In the third quarter, the OKC Thunder's biggest lead reached 11 points, but the Minnesota Timberwolves responded with a 7-0 run. They're aggressively attacking the paint, and the Wolves are playing physically tonight. The second leading scorer for OKC behind SGA is Jalen Williams, who bullied Mike Conley. And again, Anthony Edwards attacks inside against the 7-footer Isaiah Hartenstein, finishing off the glass. OKC Thunder's lead is back to double figures, folks, with an SGA basket and one against his cousin Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and then Alex Caruso with a cutting layup, 75-64. Julius Randle is having a rough game, just 2 out of 10 from the field, folks. The 2025 NBA MVP is almost perfect from mid-range. The home team's lead is growing steadily, and the Timberwolves have no answer. Oklahoma City Thunder lead by 17 points. Anthony Edwards hanging in the air. Foul drawn, 2 free throws for Ant-Man, but Lou Dort answers, folks, with a corner three-pointer and sets the home crowd on fire. Poster dunk and stared him down. Back for Hulk rips the stop. He was called for a taunting technical here, folks. SGA was thrilled with the swagger shown by the 7-footer. The third quarter ended with the OKC Thunder leading by 22 points, 93-71. But the game wasn't over yet, folks, as the Timberwolves cut the deficit to 13 in the fourth quarter, 97-84. To stop that run, SGA once again hit from the elbow, right in front of the 7-footer Rudy Gobert. The momentum was with OKC, folks. Halfway through, Jaden McDaniels got frustrated with the MVP and deliberately shoved SGA. That call was upgraded to a penalty and a follow-on was given. Bad luck struck the Idols. Randle was sitting here down the stretch. Only 6 points. Anthony Edwards mid-range. And Nickeil Alexander-Walker running finger roll, 103-90. OKC up by 13. Ant-Man went into takeover mode, folks, 28 points and counting. With 4 minutes left on the game clock, Minnesota was only down by 11 points. Their run was halted by an and-one opportunity from Jalen Williams, but with 3 minutes left, Alex Caruso fouled out. The visiting team kept fighting Anthony Edwards, now with 31 points. Nickeil Alexander-Walker made a huge impact off the bench. He had 17 points, but in the last 2 minutes, Jalen Williams hit a dagger three-pointer, and SGA sealed the game. Polk series is now tied at 2-2. This is the performance by Anthony Edwards that everyone has been waiting for, with MJ like hang time, and someone even got annoyed at Ant-Man. The Minnesota Timberwolves also set a new franchise record. Game 3, Minnesota Timberwolves versus Oklahoma City Thunder. This is a good sign, a good start for Julius Randle, who only scored 6 points in Game 2. The Minnesota Timberwolves, especially Anthony Edwards, are also applying great ball pressure here. Running back shot at the wing, then a triple. It's like they got a taste of their own medicine. Oklahoma City Thunder recorded 4 early turnovers in the first quarter, wide open for the slam. The Timberwolves have also become more careful about fouling SGA. The headline in the first quarter was Anthony Edwards taking over on both ends, not just on offense. Ant-Man is also showing great defense. Another steal for Anthony Edwards. And EC, a dunk in the open court. Defense is the key for the Minnesota Timberwolves in Game 3. This game is also pivotal because if Oklahoma State wins, it will be hard to make a comeback, and no one has ever pulled off a 3-0 comeback in NBA history. Rudy Gobert is also an X-factor in defense. He managed to steal the ball from OKC twice. Here in the opening frame, SGA had no free throws in the first quarter and only recorded 2 points. Rudy Gobert dunked Nicole Alexander-Walker, a 3-point basket from the corner, and Anthony Edwards to end the first quarter, a 3-pointer. Ant-Man had a total of 16 points in the first frame, 34-14 at the end of the first quarter. That's a 20-point lead for the home team. In the second frame, Chris Finch played the rookie Terrence Shannon Jr. The 24-year-old 6'6" player did not disappoint Minnesota. He scored 7 points in 3 minutes off the bench. Standing ovation. The crowd here for Terrence Shannon Jr., 9 points in 5 minutes, and the Minnesota Timberwolves lead ballooned to 28 points. And in the history of the NBA Conference Finals, the largest comeback happened in 2002 when the Boston Celtics erased a 26-point lead by the New Jersey Nets in Game 3 of the East Finals. The struggle continues for the Oklahoma City Thunder even after Shai Gilgeous-Alexander returned another turnover, folks, for the MVP. Hardenstein is the only one with good shooting in the OKC Thunder's starting 5. Anthony Edwards knocked down Cason Wallace with an MJ-like jumper, folks. This is now the biggest deficit suffered by the Oklahoma City Thunder in these playoffs, and even in the regular season. A 31-point Minnesota lead, folks, at the end of the first 2 quarters, 72-41. In the third quarter, the Minnesota Timberwolves got a bit nervous after the Oklahoma City Thunder went on an 11-2 run. From a 35-point lead, the gap was cut down to just 22 points. But a great timeout by Chris Finch, and then Anthony Edwards channeled Michael Jordan with a hang-time reverse baseline layup. That was incredible. One more field goal for Ant-Man. The Minnesota Timberwolves' lead was back up to over 30 points. The home team, folks, regained control of the game. They limited SGA to just 4 free throw attempts. The NBA MVP only managed to draw a foul twice. Minnesota's lead was up to 38 points with under 5 minutes left here in the third quarter. The Oklahoma City Thunder were absolutely burned by Anthony Edwards' 3-point basket. The visiting team has given up. Edwards' long 3-pointer. It's good. Logan Stort even shoved him after that 3, folks. The Minnesota Timberwolves lead has reached over 40 points. And the third quarter isn't even over yet. While going into the final frame, the Minnesota Timberwolves lead by 37 points, 107-70. While the 72 points scored by the Minnesota Timberwolves in the first half, folks, is the highest number of points in any half in a playoff game. That's a franchise record, folks. In the fourth quarter, Julius Randle wasn't done yet. Back-to-back field goals. A very deep 3, almost like a logo shot, and he was just laughing it off. Well, this is a blowout victory for the Minnesota Timberwolves. The series stands at 2-1, still in favor of the Oklahoma City Thunder. Anthony Edwards finished with 30 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, and 2 steals. Julius Randle, on the other hand, had 24 points. This is a great matchup, bros. Cousin versus cousin. The Thunder played defense on Anthony Edwards like the bad boys Pistons, bros. Game 4, OKC vs Timberwolves. Both teams started off with strong offense, bros. They traded baskets, with Jalen Williams leading OKC's offense with 8 points in the first 3 minutes. Meanwhile, for the Wolves, Jaden McDaniels quickly reached double digits in scoring and threw down a dunk. Chet Holmgren also joined in, and SGA, who struggled in Game 3, scored back-to-back baskets. But the visiting team called a timeout after Gobert blocked Holmgren, stopping him from posterizing Rudy. That play led to fast break points for J-Mac, bringing McDaniels to 10 points. But after the timeout, Jada kept carrying OKC and SGA too. Both of them already had double-digit scoring, with 13 points each in the first quarter, and Williams had 3 3-pointers. Gobert's defense was still too loose, letting the MVP take shots, guys. With less than a minute left, the Thunder's biggest lead reached 9 points. Anthony Edwards got his first basket with an N1 layup. That was also Ance's only shot in the opening quarter, 37 points to 30 at the end of the first quarter. At the start of the second quarter, the Wolves immediately turned the ball over, leading to an easy dunk for J-Dub. On the next play, Chet Holmgren threw down a one-handed dunk, but he is one of the magic moments for the Wolves in Game 3. Shannon Jr., the rookie, made his presence felt again, scoring 7 straight points. With the way the rookie was playing, he quickly became a crowd favorite in Minnesota, joining Alexander Walker as the key contributors off the second unit. They managed to cut OKC's lead down to 4 after this three-pointer by Alexander Walker. He had 11 points coming off the Wolves bench, but Chet Holmgren quickly answered on the other end. SGA also knocked down a 3 guys under the 4-minute mark. He even outsmarted Gobert on this play. He felt a bit of contact from the big man and that was automatic. The official called 7, so the crowd started teasing him, calling him a free throw merchant. SGA already had 6 free throws in the first half, guys, with 21 points, shooting 7 of 13 from the field. The one who hasn't really made his presence felt from Minnesota is Anthony Edwards. Just like in the first quarter, Edwards only had 1 attempt in the second quarter. Both he and Randle are still cold guys with only 5 points each, though the Wolves only need 8 more points, 65-57 at halftime, 5-57 at halftime. In the third quarter, Alex Caruso started OKC's offense by hitting this corner 3. It was also the first time the visiting team's lead reached double figures. Good thing the Wolves answered back with a 9-0 run. Finally, Edwards scored a basket. Suddenly, the home team was only down by 2 points. Gobert even dunked on Hartenstein in this play. That could have been momentum for the Wolves, but OKC answered back with a 9-2 run, still led by SGA and Jalen Williams, but because of the confidence Minnesota built up, they managed to go on another run, hitting outside shots one after another, with Dante DiVincenzo sinking 2 straight to tie the game, forcing OKC to call a timeout. After the timeout, here comes OKC again. OKC always had an answer to every Wolves run. They just erased the home team's 9-2 run. Chet Holmgren threw down a driving dunk followed by a mid-range jumper from SGA. Anthony Edwards is now in double digits with 10 points in 32 minutes. But SGA has 29 points in 32 minutes. He even pulled off a nice hesitation move at the end. It's 90-85. Heading into the fourth quarter, while the Wolves had a solid start to the fourth quarter, guys, with a read and a 200 dunk. Good thing even though Edwards was cold. SGA's cousin, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, has been a huge help tonight, already with 21 points after that 3. With under 8 minutes left, Anthony Edwards is back on the court, guys. He and SGA quickly traded baskets, but it was the Wolves who had to call a timeout when the lead went back up to 8 points. OKC's lead, and Holmgren already has 20 points as well. Solid game for OKC's big man, guys, but the game is not over yet. Minnesota knocked down 3 straight threes from Edwards, DiVincenzo, and Jaden McDaniels. The Wolves cut the deficit down to just 3 points, but then OKC answered back with 5 straight points, with Caruso left wide open, followed by a 3 from J-Dub, making it 116-109. Last 2 minutes, guys, Jalen Williams came up clutch with 5 straight points for OKC. J-Dub took over, guys. Once again, the OKC Thunder win Game 4 and now lead the series 3-1. The Wolves are really struggling, bro. It's only the first quarter and Randle and Edwards are already frustrated they've been erased. OKC is heading to the finals thanks to the greatness of the GOAT Alex Caruso. Julius Randle couldn't show off at all. It's a do-or-die Game 5 for Anthony Edwards' team facing off against the OKC Thunder. Randle started the Wolves' offense with a wing 3 to open the quarter, but after that OKC answered back with an 11-0 run, bro. 7 of those points came from Chet Holmgren. 2 quick slam dunks right away for OKC's big man. SGA with an alley-oop to Chet. The Wolves called a timeout after that, but the home team's offense just kept going. Alex Caruso stole the ball from Randle. It should have been an easy 2 points for him, bro. More given to SGA, and it looked like Randle was about to cry because of OKC's defense. She just got completely shut down. As for Hartenstein, well, Anthony Edwards was aggressive in the first quarter with back-to-back baskets, but even so, OKC's lead ballooned to double digits. SJ even took over, scoring 8 straight points almost every possession for OKC, bro. The MVP was heavily involved in the offense, finishing with 12 points and 5 assists, shooting 5 of 7 from the field with only 1 free throw. Minnesota was already frustrated in the first quarter. They couldn't even reach double digits, scoring just 9 points in the opening quarter. SGA alone outscored them. The first quarter ended with OKC leading by almost 26-9. In the second quarter, another turnover by Randall's crew bro, Caruso with another steal. He scored the first 6 points for OKC in the second quarter. And even after Caruso was rested 2 minutes into the quarter, Randall and his crew still couldn't get anything going, not even against Wallace. Yet no one could show off because of OKC's intense defense. There were no easy baskets inside, and Holmgren delivered a huge block. After that, the home team's deficit ballooned to 20 bro, with Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren carrying the load. OKC's big man already had double-digit scoring with 15 points, and OKC's biggest lead even reached 30. The Wolves were plagued by turnovers in the second quarter bro. Every possession seemed to end in a turnover. As for the home team, Minnesota already had 14 turnovers. OKC on the other hand had 9 steals. 3 of those steals came from Caruso, the one and only GOAT, more GOAT than the GOAT himself. Edwards and his team experienced what Jokic went through in Game 7. Not a single Minnesota player managed to score in double digits. The Wolves actually had more turnovers than field goals. They even managed to keep it at 30 bro. Thunder's lead SGA already had 20 points. 65-32 at halftime, a 5-32 halftime. Well, another historic moment guys for OKC, largest halftime lead in playoff history. Third quarter, Isaiah Hartenstein, 3 state field goals, immediately unleashed for OKC, but the Thunder coach had to call a timeout guys when the Wolves started to get aggressive. First 3-pointer for Anthony Edwards. Unlike the first half, you can really feel the offense now from the Wolves' 2 superstars. They carried the offense guys for the visiting team. 2 consecutive 3-pointers by Randall to cut the lead to 24 points. At the 4-minute mark, that's already 10 steals for OKC. SGA with the steal, and the MVP's defender even fell down. But Randall and one answered back on the other end. Alex Caruso called for a foul, but then a 3-pointer was answered on the other side. Lou Dort, right on time guys. Lou Dort came through hitting 2 crucial threes in this match that OKC really needed. Minnesota still has a big deficit to overcome heading into the fourth quarter, 8-62. In the fourth quarter, the MVP started OKC's offense with a top-of-the-key 3-pointer. Edwards really had it tough guys, he just couldn't get past Lou Dort. Mike Conley got completely stuffed by J-Dub. After that, SGA scored an and-one basket. Anthman committed the foul. It seems like the Wolves are running out of ammo too. OKC's lead went back up to 30 under the 9-minute mark with this 3 from Lou Dort. The fans can already sense the finals guys. They're already celebrating. Minnesota couldn't put up a fight anymore on their home court. They completely gave up under the 4-minute mark. Ant-Man has been deleted. Now SGA and company are heading straight to the NBA Finals, waiting for the winner of the Knicks vs Pacers series. SGA has another chance to win the MVP, possibly getting his 3rd MVP award this season. The ages of Durant, Westbrook, and Harden were similar to those of SGA, Holmgren, and J-Dub during their respective first finals appearances. Back then, Russell Westbrook was 23 years old, while James Harden was 22. And now SGA is 26 years old, and Jalen Williams is only 24, and Chet Holmgren is 23 years old. They're also young guys. Perhaps the trade involving Josh Giddey and Alex Caruso was the X-factor that brought the OKC Thunder to the finals. AC Fresh played a crucial role on defense guys. He's also the oldest player on the OKC Thunder roster at 31 years old. This is now Alex Caruso's 2nd finals appearance. The last time he made it to the finals, he won an NBA championship with the Los Angeles Lakers. He was named Western Conference Finals MVP. No one else guys. Shekel Jess Alexander is also the MVP this NBA season.
Shai Gilchrist Alexander, the talented basketball player.
If they end up winning the NBA Finals, SGA will collect 3 MVPs in just one season. That's the league MVP, Western Conference Finals MVPs. And he still has a chance to win the NBA Finals MVP. In this series, he averaged 31.4 points, 5.2 rebounds, and 8.2 assists per game. And just in these playoffs, SGA has also recorded 11 30-point games. He's also, guys, the first MVP since Stephen Curry to make it to the NBA Finals. The last time this was done was by Stephen Curry during the 2015-2016 NBA season, when the Golden State Warriors did not win the championship. The last player in the NBA to win both the regular season MVP and the Finals MVP was LeBron James. In 2013, LeBron did it twice while Michael Jordan actually achieved it 4 times.